Oxygen levels.
Oxygen levels are at 100%.
Set a course to Dark Waters 9.
These people are getting us ready for something, so you better pay attention. I just watched that Steven Spielberg Disclosure Day official trailer, and that shit is about to rock a lot of people. Matter of fact, look at this shit. Look at this shit right here.
Good morning, Kansas City. Let's take a look at today.
I want you to pay attention.
Today is today's.
They're getting us ready for something. This shit is talking through her. Nah. Now you heard all the talks. The 3-Eye Atlas. The Pentagon saying that the Anunnaki will return here. The sightings. The drones. They're trying to get people comfortable just in case something like that does happen. I want you to look at the rest of this shit. Look at this shit. Listen.
People have a right to know the truth. It belongs to 7 billion people.
Listen.
What is it?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you. So I'm going to show you.
Don't be surprised.
What are you gonna do?
Full disclosure to the whole world. All at once.
I want y'all to peep how everything is about disclosure now. You got the Age of Disclosure that was just on Amazon Prime. Alien sightings. People saying that they actually interacted with aliens. And then you got Disclosure Day. You have other disclosures as well. What are they trying to say? These people are getting us ready for something, so you better pay attention.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to watch that when that comes out. I might even go to the movies and check that out, because you know they always trying to tell us something. Disclosure from what?
I taught biology, and none of my peers ever talked about this. But in 2019, back when they were corrupting all flesh rapidly, you remember they were doing that. You guys remember that. Japan modified its rules to allow research of these chimeras, human-animal hybrids. They were already doing it, but they modified their rules to allow these creatures to grow to completion, basically. And so they can then implant these chimeras, which I was always told that was impossible. Why would it be illegal if it's impossible? And so we had a scientist who asked for the Pope's approval. He wanted his blessing before he corrupted all flesh.
Did you hear that? Chimeras remind you of that show Hunter x Hunter.
If the Pope was a real man of God, what if he had said, no, get out of here with that nonsense, that Days of Noah nonsense? He said, you have my blessing. And so this man, Juan, we'll call him Juan Carlos, here's a creation he made, half pig, half human. This is heartbreaking. This is Days of Noah stuff coming back. They're going against our Father's beloved creation, mixing with an unclean animal. It's dark stuff. They've done the same, not just with pigs. They've done the same with monkeys. Human-monkey chimeras. They colored the human cells pink. They're doing this stuff as we speak. And if this is the stuff that's out there in the news, imagine what they're really doing. And our Father gave us His righteous laws, and His righteous laws say, you shall keep my statutes, thou shalt not let thy cattle gender with a diverse kind. And there's problems with mixing. When you start mixing things, you can create things, like you mix a lion and a tiger. You can get a liger. But this thing doesn't have a growth inhibitor. They get huge. They become giants. Ligers are massive. Their heads are like this big. But it's not good for them. They would need to be fed because they can't run fast. They can't catch things now. I think that'd be great being a super predator. That big. It's not.
Damn, he said a growth inhibitor. That would kind of explain why giants got so big, you know? And they couldn't control their eating. Didn't it say like giants ate like most of the land in a couple years, I believe? Let's look it up. Fire Marshal Bill, let me show you something. Giants ate Let's see if it talks about how much they ate. So I do remember it, like they ate so much. Was that an Enoch? Found it. It was not easy. Chapter 7, I believe. Where was it? The cutting rope, it made them acquainted, and they became pregnant, and they bare great giants, whose height was 3,000 ells. I'm not sure how big that is, but I'm sure it's big. Who consumed all the acquisitions of men. And when men could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against them and devoured mankind. They began to sin against birds, beasts, reptiles, fish, and devour one another, and then drink the blood on some Attack on Titan dark type stuff. Dang. So when we see, so when this dude is telling me about this liger and it has no growth exhibitor, I believe that's what he said, you know, and you can look at him, he's eating good. So it kind of makes sense, you know, stuff that's really not supposed to happen, you know, it's almost like a drawback or like, you know, consequences for it.
Now, I think that'd be great being a super predator that big. It's not. Our Father didn't design them to be that way. And so when I was born, there were no GMO foods on the shelves around that time. Now, 42 years later, 70 to 80% of your processed foods are bioengineered, corrupted flesh.
But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
Not mad at him. Not mad at all. Giants was eating everything.
Still don't think these giant craters have anything to do with the fallen angels, do you? Well, what if I showed you this crater that just happens to be called the doorway to hell and is always on fire?
In Turkmenistan, I remember seeing that.
And just happens to be one of 200. 200 that just happens to match the exact number of the fallen angels that were banished from heaven. And just happens to match the exact number of the amount of countries in the world. And just happens to match the exact number of seats in this hidden chamber, in this hidden city of this pyramid. And then I told you the leader of the fallen angels, Lucifer, which just also happens to mean the devil. And then I tell you how an angel came down from the heaven, having the key to the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold of the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him for 1,000 years. And if Lucifer or Satan was bound, then I'm sure his loyal 200 followers were also bound. And maybe, just maybe, this isn't evidence of the fallen angels coming down to earth, but being released from the bottomless pit. And maybe this pit just happened to be the light bearers that they want to keep lit, because there sure seems to be tribute to this light bearer all over this world we live in. And they put it right in plain sight. All you have to do is be paying attention. Paying attention to this world is not what you think it is. And the ones in charge are not who you think. But you guys, you know I'm just teasing. Of course I believe that these were giant asteroids falling to the earth, creating these giant holes, and, you know, they went.
My thing is, if it was a giant asteroid that hit, you know, it wouldn't be so spot on. It would be like kind of like a skid mark across the earth, like showing, you know, like its impact. It wouldn't just be directly vertical down. You know, you could do this with any experiment. You can pat some dirt on the ground, throw a rock as hard as you can at the ground, and you can look at the trajectory of the sand flying at a 45-degree angle from the other side where the impact hit. It's not going to be like a a rain droplet straight down impact. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. This is all for entertainment purposes only. Just theories, of course.
Just straight down perfectly each time and didn't leave any sort of trail at all. And there's no such thing as the fallen angels. That's all just science fiction and fantasy in the Bible, because the entertainment purposes only. This is all satire. Yeah, this is just, some sort of weird earthly anomaly.
So it's like half blue, half albino. That is crazy. He said, no, we didn't glue it. Nobody said you glued them together. How diabolical would that be? Would y'all believe me if I told y'all I never ate lobster before? I never tasted it. You'll see people dipping it in butter and it looks good. That's just something I never had. I've never had crab either. I never, crab legs, snapping them, dipping them in butter. I never had it in my entire life. That or lobster. Never say F off.
Off. I think it's best you leave now. I must terminate this discussion forthwith. You do have a marvellous talent for ever staying. I should be vastly obliged if you found the door. I find the company increasingly surplus to requirement. In accordance with what remains of civility, you are urged to absent yourself immediately and without spectacle. It is with every respect for your person that I nevertheless pronounce your visit at an end, for your society has ceased to be agreeable, and I must therefore entreat you to relieve me of its burden by your immediate departure.
Please relieve me of your burden for your immediate departure. Oh my goodness. What do you say to that besides my apologies?
This guy went to the Apollo University Lodge, a sun god lodge. Imagine that. And he came up with the geologic column. Basically, all the evidence we find buried in soil because there was a flood. Oh, it's really old. That's why it's down there. We know when you go up on high elevations, on the high mountains, you're still going to find remnants of sea life up there. That is Charles Lyell. But one thing he said, there was an agenda, and it was to free the science from Moses. It didn't end well for Pharaoh's magicians and sorcerers and wise men. Can you think of one plague that those wise men and sorcerers were able to undo? Were they able to ever push anything back? They never were. And you can imagine how dumb that is. Imagine if you're Pharaoh and you have these wise men and sorcerers who are using powers of darkness to help pull off these imitation miracles. And you're getting swamped by, let's say it's frogs coming out of the water. And they're like, all right, stand back. Watch this, Pharaoh. I'm going to make more of them come out. Like, you're not really helping the cause. They could never undo, not one time, our Father's work. And it's the same with these demonic doctrines today. They cannot undo our Father's work. And new technology gets invented. We can prove our Father's work happened. We can prove there's chariot wheels at the bottom of the Red Sea because they're still there. Gold plated. You can still see the gold shining through the sand. And there was the pillar of fire that they were singing about. And man, when I'm thinking about that pillar of fire, how foolish people can be, and we got to humble ourselves. The people that went after the people of Israel, they were being told, one little pillar of fire, it's turning into a cloud. Don't worry, You've got all these chariots. These people are little sheep herders walking across this land with all their children. We're going to go after them. It's not going to be that hard. And so you could imagine when he repeats the same lie at Armageddon, with the battle. Look at all the ships we have. Look at all the army tanks we have. A bunch of resurrected saints. Like, we've got this, guys. This isn't Egypt. This will be different this time. They're going to lie. They only have so many lies, and they usually repeat the same ones. And so that pillar of fire was there, and poor Mr. Charles Lyell. I'd like to take him on a field trip if he was still alive. Let's go down here and look at the melted sand on the shoreline when you go there. Still melted. Stones are infused in this melted sand. And these people broke it up to prove that it was indeed melted, where that pillar of fire would have had to have been over 3,000 degrees to do that. So you imagine how warm that was. They went across on dry ground for a reason. If there was any water, any mud puddles, it was dried up in seconds. That pillar of fire is real.
It was so hot, the water instantly, because of fire. Oh, can you imagine that? Oh my God. Please forgive me. Let's just take a second and look at this image. Like, Does it look natural? Or aren't they playing code word musical instruments? The string quartet out there in the ocean. Yeah, that. You know, we got to speak in code. Are they out there playing musical instruments? That's what we gonna say now. Makes you think, where exactly is this coming from? This looks like some type of ionic beam. Someone in the comments said, why do they call it what it really is? Manually driven moisture. This is exactly what they did 3 to 4 days before Helene hit the Gulf Coast. So much interference was put on that region that it sucked up a hurricane up to it. Never in history has a hurricane gone that far over land. And I've been saying this, you know, it looks like a hurricane hit up there. All the flooding and what's going on. Now they're saying wildfires in Denver. This is outrageous. Blizzards popping up. This is getting outlandish.
Bro, what? Like, what's purple up there? What is that? You can't see it with the naked eye. You cannot see a purple outline like that at all. It's not my phone, it's not the camera. That is there. 100%. That's the craziest shit ever. Like, what? What?
But guys, check this out. Here's an update at Colorado. This is what people are saying. This was not just a wind event. Hurricane force winds tearing across Colorado today didn't just knock out power, they pushed multiple systems to their limits at the same time. Wind gusts over 100 miles per hour down power lines, triggered large outages, and helped fan fast moving fires across an already dry terrain. So they're saying they got fires popping up now. But what makes this stand out isn't just a single impact, it's the timing and overlap. Extreme pressure gradients, rapid atmospheric shifts, dry fuels, infrastructure stress, all occurring simultaneously. When winds reach this intensity, utilities lose control before crews can respond. Fire behavior becomes unpredictable, and small failures cascade quickly. This isn't just bad weather. It's a system strain, the kind that exposes weak points all at once. We're seeing this pattern show up more often. Stranger wind events, more preemptive power shutoffs, fire igniting during non-typical windows, little margin for error. When multiple systems are pushed together, the outcome changes fast. If you're a high wind or fire-prone region, this kind of setup you take seriously. Did you experience these winds today or lose power? No, thank goodness I'm not in this area, but if you got people in that area, definitely check on them, make sure that they're all right, because man, you know, the last video we were showing that they were doing hurricane force winds, you know, it's flooding everywhere, levees breaking. Now there's wildfires going out in the area. What is going on? This one is extraordinary. It looks like the sky is on fire, like the sunset, like how the mountains popped up. Oh, this is extraordinary. It makes you think, man, is it AI? But everything can't be AI.
I'm going to show you a book that you can't read. Like, you literally can't read. Why? It's Banned Book Week. I want to show you something. You can't read this book. And you say, what do you mean you can't read 1984 by George Orwell? Look at this particular copy. It is bound on both sides. Now, the complete text is there. You just can't read it. Why was this book bound? It was bound to try to make a difference, to kind of bring to light. Still, all these years later, books are still being censored and banned. Let's look at a first edition of Orwell's 1984. Came out in 1949, and it was talking about events that were going to happen 35 years in the future. We are now over 40 years on the other side of 1984, and books and authors are still being banned, silenced, and censored. So,
dang, what did he say?
Did you know that there is a library in Malmö, Sweden, where they only collect books that have been banned and authors who have been silenced, censored, and put to death? So it's called the DeWitt Isaac Library, and during this banned book week, that is my recommendation. Go see this library.
Let's see what he said. 1984 by George. What did he say? 1984 by George. George Orwell, the party seeks power for its own sake, not for the good. Oh, so it sounds like he's getting his Robin Hood on. Alright guys, here's another beautiful example of the technology that could have possibly, that they used back in the day to make those temples. This just shows, you know, like Kailasa. That has Kailasa vibes all day. It was an elephant.
And here's the mystery tunnel that my guide told me has been around for as long as locals can remember. No one knows who created it. Some people think it was created before the Spanish came. Others think it was created by indigenous after the Spanish came to hide their gold. And the third theory is that this was created by the Spanish, possibly a mine that they had. But this thing was absolutely massive. Somebody put a huge effort forward to make it, and no one knows who did it. Recently, I went looking for pictographs in Colombia. My guide told me he knew a shortcut and explained to me that this tunnel was built by the Muisca people. They are very big blocks, and sure enough, they lead you right down to a pictograph that would have been created by the Muisca people probably over 1,000 years ago. And here's the mystery tunnel that my guide told me has been around for...
That's a cool adventure, hunting for pictographs. Interesting. Alright gang, it's that time of the day again. If you thought you weren't going to get another excellent specimen of the day today, think again. This is a good one. I got another good one for you. Yeah. This doesn't really have telling us what it is, but it is extraordinary. It's almost giving me like you would see like makeup, like something women would use to like hit their makeup almost, or like a raspberry chocolate almost. And then you got the clear square crystals on the bottom. This is a unique piece. I need names. Drop names in the comments below. What would you name this? If I had to name this, I would call it the chocolate heart. Chocolate heart. Ugh. That's all we got for today's video. If you made it this far, be sure you hit that like and subscribe button if you're enjoying yourself, or like the video, because the likes are getting a lot better, and I just want to say thank you guys. It's paying off. I appreciate you guys so much. Code word for today is weather. Go ahead and drop weather in the comments below. When you put weather, that lets me know you made it all the way through the videos and you really rock with your boy. I just want to say thank you so much. Guys, be safe. This weather's getting crazy. Make sure you got everything you need, you know, and check on your loved ones. Make sure they're all right. And till next time, guys, this was the most mysterious TikToks on the internet today. See you later.